YouTube faithful, what's going on? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning by the time this is dropped, but is it 2 o'clock in the morning in real life? Nah, it's like 12:35. Now, ever since NBA came back, I've been doing the NBA videos Monday through Friday, but I still want to continue these week-long NFL videos. It is week 8. Everything inside me wanted to call it a night after I was sweating with the cord. We were sweating the NBA props, watching the World Series, watching the Yanks get shelled. I was tired. I was ready for bed, but I was like, you know what? I got to come on here because people are counting on me to come on here, win, lose, or draw, and give them some content. So here we are. I'm going to give you my top 3 favorite plays for week 8. And then if you want more than that, you're going to have to be in the live stream that will be tomorrow at 9:30 Central, which is in the Discord. And you get that by being in the Discord, which is linked through the Dub Club, which is CaptainCrush.net, which the link is in the description. So without further ado, let's break this puppy down. Step number 1 in your process, don't care. You're looking for high point totals, close spreads. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you know that's how we do things around here. Can I get this video done in 12 to 15 minutes and deliver a master class? That is the question that remains. So, like I tell you guys all the time, we're trying to take a 13-game slate and move it into a 3-game slate so we don't get choice paralysis. Packers, Jags, that's going to be a banger on paper, okay? We know we're going to want to have exposure to that. Atlanta Falcons versus the Buccaneers, rematch. Tampa Bay, we're at home. We're missing everybody. Godwin, Evans, can we pull a rabbit out of our hat? I don't know, baby. Dolphins, Cardinals, 46.5, and then the rest is pretty much hot garbage. Now, the sleeper on here, in my opinion, is the Bears Commanders. I think that could be a great game. And with that in mind, I want to take you over here to Mr. DeAndre Swift. Unfortunately, people are on his rush yards for good reason. He's been getting it done. And I ain't here to talk you off of him, okay? He's going to be popular. There's going to be a lot of popular stuff. I like to find the non-popular stuff in those live streams, a la the Noah Gray receiving yards, the Lucas Cruel receiving yards. We will find those bangers and dig through that dumpster tomorrow morning. But DeAndre Swift, 13.5 fantasy score and or 84.5 rush plus receiving yards. Now, if we go filter this out, you can see that Washington is 27th in rushing yards allowed to running backs. Okay, they're 3rd in receiving yards allowed against running backs, but overall they're 13th in receiving yards allowed. So if you did just want to take his rushing yards, you could. He could rush for over 100 yards in this game easily. Caleb Williams has started to shown out, and I'm happy for the Bears fans, the poverty Bears fans that have been waiting for a QB. I hope Caleb Williams is your guy, but I think you got to look at Swift's fantasy score as the priority, and then the rush receiving yards is the secondary. Period. He's just got too much upside. Whenever you're taking fantasy score, you want to think about it. How does he get his fantasy score? Well, if he gets in the box, that's 6. If he catches the ball, that's 7. And then if he gets you 60 yards, he's going over, soaring way over his fantasy score. Okay, so all those are scenarios, and you know that Caleb Williams may get in trouble, may need to check down. If he does, Swift's his man. Those are fantasy points every time he catches the ball, those little dump offs. This is what you got to do. So let's just take his fantasy score at leg number 1. You last 5 Kings can rejoice, baby. Next is gonna be a really popular play, unfortunately. And guys, I don't like giving you guys popular plays because it's poverty. Everyone's talking about these plays. They're bonehead, no-brainer plays. But Breece Hall, my goodness, if I left him off here, I wouldn't feel good about it. I wouldn't be able to respect myself in the morning. They're playing the Patriots. I love Breece Hall. They coach is committed to running, he said. The interim coach. So rush yards, receiving yards, his rush plus receiving yards, it's all in play, baby. His rushing yards there, his receiving yards there, and his rush plus receiving yards, absolutely. The Patriots have pretty much given up the ghost this season. It's unfortunate because they've been a freaking dynasty, but check this out. Patriots are 29th in rushing yards allowed, 17th in receiving yards allowed towards the position. Overall, 21st and 23rd. The Jets should win this game handsomely, and if they do, you want to have exposure to Breece Hall. In addition to that, the number 2 back, Allen, he could get some run here if it does get out of hand, and he's down here. Braylon Allen, they only have his longest reception right now. Oh no, there they go. 26.5 rush plus receiving yards for Braylon Allen. That would be the secondary option. Again, something happens to Hall, or if it just gets ugly early, both of these would be in play. Braylon's a dart, obviously. And then while we're on that same game, something worth mentioning is if it doesn't go that way where it's just, you know, they're going to run it down their throat, Aaron Rodgers, he now has Wilson and Adams in the mix, including Hall. You know he's going to want to throw some tutties. You know he's going to want to get Adams a touchdown after last week. You just know that, right? So 1.5 pass TDs. They're going to want to play good this week. They're going to use this as a bounce back spot. They just got beat. They're expected to win. They have a lot of talent. It's on Aaron Rodgers. We all heard the press conference. So his 1.5 pass TDs for sure is in play, and his pass attempts at 34. I actually took the alternate line at 33.5 on some of the books. Chalkboard sleeper. Links in the description. Get on that. This has been an absolute wagon. Aaron Rodgers loves to pass. It's who he is. That's their identity. They love to pass. So either one of those, it was worth mentioning about Aaron Rodgers. So I had to put him in the mix, baby. Captain Crush had to put him in the mix. And then speaking of mix, let's go right back to Fantasy Show, and we're going to talk about James Conner, the absolute phenom. He's like the Undertaker back from the dead. This guy's battled cancer, leukemia, I think it was. Roman Reigns battled leukemia. I don't remember what cancer that James Conner had, but he beat it. He's back, and he's running through people like a freight train. So you don't want to be on the wrong side of this. The Cards, they're coming off momentum. They're looking good. I got to give my boy Conner in the mix. His fantasy score was at 12.5 last week. Now it's at 13.5. You can absolutely take him, or you could take his rush yards at 71.5 if you don't want to get too cute, or even his receiving yards at 11.5. I think that's viable as well. Okay, it's dealer's choice. Even his rush receiving tutties in the mix. Okay, his rush plus receiving yards. I like it all. Give me all the James Conner, baby. And then you could run it back with Tyreek Hill. Okay, you could run it back with Tyreek Hill. I mean, 82.5 is a little egregious, but his Gabby down here at 59.5 is for sure in the mix with Tua back in play. You could go with a little bit of a Devon A-chain in the mix. He's absolutely going to get work tomorrow. I guarantee it. I just don't know what he's going to do, but I do believe his fantasy score down here at 15 has to be considered, but it's not quite a core play. He is going in the lineup, but my favorite two so far are Swift, Hall, and Conner. Those would be my top three. And then I'm going to give you some darts. Cedric Tillman. Amari Cooper's gone. Now we got the gunslinger Winston in the mix. I think Tillman had like 18 targets last week. You can see they're 30th in receiving yards allowed. Overall, they're 32nd. The Baltimore Ravens aren't stopping anybody. They let people get yards. And with Cooper out of the mix, look at that target share. That's 21% of the target share that's just gone. So you got Njoku. You know he feeds. You got Cedric Tillman, who got 81 receiving yards last week. He had 12 targets, 8 receptions. Granted, we have another new quarterback coming in, but you got to consider this dude. I mean, the usage is there. The volume is there. He's going to be a staple on DraftKings for me tomorrow because he's basically min-priced at $3,300. You got to have some exposure to Tillman, whether you like it, hate it, or love it. You got to do it. Don't anchor him by any means, but have some exposure. And also, the big man, Njoku, he just respects coin, y'all. He just respects coin. Njoku, any given Sunday, give me that Gabby 39.5 receiving yards. His fantasy score at 13, that might even be in play. It's actually a little bit too big. If he doesn't get a touchdown, you can chalk it. But I do like his Gabby at 39.5. And who doesn't love a good Gabby on Sunday night, Saturday night football, I guess you could say, because by the time y'all are seeing this, who knows what time it's going to be. I was only supposed to give you 3 plays, but Captain Crush, once he gets a yapping, the plays come flowing. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot more on the Dub Club. I best see you guys in that live stream tomorrow morning. Go to CaptainCrush.net, scroll down to the gold package. That's the gate that gets you in. It's linked through the Dub Club. You go in for 1 month, that'll get you in. It syncs with your Discord. You log into your Dub Club profile, it syncs in, and then you'll have access to the live streams, which will pop up in the Discord. If you have any problems, send me an email. I'm here to help you. Or contact Dub Club directly, okay? They will help you. Now, what to expect on that live stream tomorrow is we are going to go over DG. We're going to talk about all the stuff that is coming in, the value, the closing line value. We're going to make gut calls. We're going to have community sweats. I'm going to answer questions. We're going to talk about DraftKings strategy. We're going to do it all, baby, and we're going to do it for at least an hour, maybe a little bit more. It depends, because I got to get my DraftKings lineups in, you know what I'm saying? And I'm dead tired right now, so I can't get them in tonight. I'm playing the 153 max, the 33.5 max, and the 100 single entry. We're firing a bullet, a full K, and we're shipping 50 to 100K tomorrow. Book it. That's the goal. And while I'm looking at D Jizzle right now, you can see David Montgomery's rush receiving yards TD is in the mix. And I was just going to go talk about him because guess what? Old Monty has been a wagon for the TDs, but he absolutely got shelled. And by shelled, I mean he hurt his knee again. You can go right back to him 100 million % to get in that box. The Lions should handle business, so I think you could take his rush plus receiving TD or his fantasy score. Either one is fine. Again, I wouldn't anchor it. These two are anchor worthy, but after that, the rest of them are just darts, except maybe Connor you could anchor too. And by anchor, I mean put them in multiple lineups and you could feel good about them. Now, that Packers game is going to be fire, fam. It should be on paper anyways. The Jags can't stop anyone. The Packers are giving up yards. Where are we going here? What are we doing? Well, some of you would go to Jordan Love and you'd think that's hitting. But you know what? I'm going with the receivers, the higher variance route. And I think my boy, Romeo Doubs, baby. Not Romeo and Juliet, but Romeo Doubs. 39.5 receiving yards, Gabby. Or 48.5 receiving yards. But I will say this. I did like Jaden Reed better, but they bumped him. And everyone's on him, so I would pivot to Dobbs. That would be the thing, but I do have exposure to Jaden Reed before the bump. It's a great matchup. And then whenever you're playing football players, you can think like a DraftKings player. You can run it back, do 1v1 skinny stacks, okay? So if you take someone like Breece Hall, you could run it back with Douglas or Stevenson. Or if you take someone like Swift, you could run it back with McLaurin. A skinny stack, 1v1. If you find yourself in a football shootout, you're there to print coin. Same thing with the Packers game, all right? Let's say you do take Dobbs. Then you could run it back with a crispy Brian Thomas at 57.5 receiving yards. You dig? The kid's a stud. He gets it done. So you absolutely could run a skinny stack with old Brian Thomas, all right? Now, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Don't be afraid to be creative. It's still week 8. There's still a lot of data points. There's still a lot of things going on. Don't be afraid to get creative. I have other plays and lineups and stuff that I have posted in the Dub Club if you're interested in that. I also have a full projection chart. Every single player with a projection that looks just like this, color coordinated for you guys, ready to go via my model up here that is done for you guys. It's in the Discord. Wanna used it tonight for NBA. Where you at, Wanna? Let me find your slip and give you your flowers, you little runt. Here he is right here. Little Wanna. When I met this kid before he met me and he was in my Discord, you wouldn't believe the poverty this kid was. Now he's putting 140 on 6-mans and cashing. Russell, Sabonis, Fox, Williams, Luka, Voos. How did he come up with this? I looked at it first and I was like, how did he come up with this? Because it seems kind of random. And then I checked the model projection sheets that I put out. Every single one of these are discrepancies. Russell was projected for 17. Sabonis projected for 21. Fox projected for 24.5. J-Dub projected for 21.5. Luka projected for 32.5. And Voos projected for 10.8 rebounds. That is how he made this. He just goes line by line, okay, through this sheet and finds the differentials and then plugs them in. Here's the example. Jalen Williams, 21.5 points is his projection. And PrizePicks had his line at 20. He took over. He got 24. It cashed. Wanna, you owe me Starbies tomorrow and you owe me and my wife dinner because you gate kept even though you made it through the model. You should post it. You're a roll member. Know your role. I'll be expecting Roadhouse on Wanna. You know my Cash App. Book it. And you can do that too, folks. You don't need to be dependent on me or any other capper. If you have the right tools, you can be successful. If you know how the process works, you have someone giving you decent projections, you can do that. And I provide that for you D-gens each and every day for all the popular sports. Now, is there anything else on this board that we could discuss? Well, there's NBA, which I'm not going to discuss. But like I'm saying, don't be afraid to be creative. Have fun on DraftKings. Make sure your contests are the right ones. Okay? And there is actually one more thing I'm going to say and leave you with because I don't think this video has gone too long. And that's Baker Mayfield, okay? They lost Evans, they lost Godwin, but they still respect coin. And with Baker Mayfield in the mix, I think you could take a shot on his rush yards. I think you could take a shot on his passing yards. He's going to throw the ball to somebody. He's going to get it done. This is just what they do. They respect coin. All right? So make sure you consider my boy Baker Mayfield in the Bucks. McMillan's going to be really popular on DraftKings tomorrow. He's basically min-priced. I hope to see you in that live stream. The link's in the description. Good luck in all your contests. Here's the salute. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush.